So I was scrolling through Facebook the other day and I just happened to see these welding glasses pop up in my news feed. Now there was a fantastic marketing video suggesting that these are the ultimate solution to helmet discomfort throughout your ordinary everyday life as a professional welder. And while I immediately looked at it and said, wow, that is the stupidest thing I've ever seen, I bought them anyway because I have to have some really unique and quirky things like this to add to my personal collection, just like that little miniature arc welder that I bought and reviewed a while back. Now, these things showed up and I made a post about it saying this is probably the dumbest thing I've ever seen. However, 247 of you and counting suggested that there are legitimate uses for these particular welding glasses. So what I'm going to do in this video is review that and actually try some of those things out and actually put that to the test. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to tell you whether this is a good idea or not. I think it's absolutely stupid. Instead, I want you guys to get down there in the comments and tell me whether you think these things are legit or shit.
So the initial plan that we had here was to actually test out some of the features and actually realistically look at these welding glasses and actually, kind of put some of those things to the test that you guys suggested would be a good thing. But the more we played around with them, the more we realized how dangerous they really are and how much they actually don't work. So it really turned into kind of a joke here. We ended up bringing in a makeup artist who did all of my face and everything like that and made it look like I was super sunburned from using them. And then of course we put out that quick little video on social media and everything that was, a lot of you guys saw the joke, but a whole lot of you didn't see the joke. So that was all fake. That was all nonsense. It was just exaggerated for the purpose of entertainment, really. But realistically speaking, these glasses, every time we looked at a specification on it, every time we put it to the test, every time we did something new with them, in a realistic, controlled type of, situation, the more we realized how bad these things really are. So, under no circumstance or no reason or situation would I actually recommend that you use these, buy these, or do anything with them. They're actually really friggin' dangerous. Even though we have all the jokes in here about, how my face would get burned, that's very realistic. So please do yourself a favor, take personal protective equipment very seriously. But do enjoy this video for what we did get out of it, and hopefully you see that this is actually not a good idea. So let's get on with it.
Adjustable. We got some rubber on the ends here, and they should be. Put that back in there. Should be adjustable to maybe fit. They feel kind of chintzy. They sound kind of chintzy. For 16 bucks, okay, we'll be fair here. It looks like kind of like a two-piece design here where they were stuck together, spot welded, ultrasonically welded. The nose piece is plastic. There's some flash in the middle of it. Maybe you can sand that down. I don't know. Maybe it's comfortable and maybe you can feel it. I can't feel the flash on this one, but that nose piece is plastic, so maybe it'll slide. Get sweaty or something like that. I don't know. Good vision, except for the sides here. These are all open. Maybe that's going to be a problem. We'll find out when we shoot it later. But let's start with the number one thing that people were saying is like the best one-up quality that these have on them, and that is compared to a welding helmet, these will get into a tighter space. So let's start with that one. So the idea here is that the glasses, when you put them on your face, they are obviously smaller, or they're a lot smaller space than the actual hood itself is here, so we can fit this into a tighter area. And that's really awesome, except there's one thing that these hoods all have in common that those sunglasses don't. That is, they protect your eyes and your face. So what's a solution that protects your face that the glasses don't? It's right here. This has been around forever. In fact, this hood that I borrowed, this is a Huntsman leather hood. It literally takes the shape of your head. You got a fixed lens in there. It pops up. You can see straight through it. Another, protection there. But these things have been around forever. They take the shape of your head. You can actually fit this in a much tighter space even than the glasses, because this area is actually smaller than the glasses. So this is a much better solution than those, because this also protects your face. But you know what? If you want to run with the glasses still, that's fine. Maybe you can wrap a bandana around your head, put a cap on, whatever the case is. I would much rather have the full protection of the Huntsman, or even this day and age, there is a Miller that came out with a full hooded version, like a set of goggles that auto darken and all the rest of that stuff. You can look in one of those. That description is down there below. Now, the next suggestion on the list involved using these as observation glasses. If you're not familiar with observation glasses, they're basically a fixed light shade glasses that actually protect your eyes all the way around from glare and reflection. Basically speaking, it's like a pair of sunglasses, but better UV protection suitable for welding or looking at a weld from a great distance or passing through a space where there is a lot of welding going on. The fixed shade is usually somewhere around like 4, 5, or 6, not 11. These are number 11, auto darkening the whole works. So I suspect that if we put these on and we go walking through an area where you see a weld or you observe it at a great distance, being that number 11 would mean that you can't see where you're going when you're walking, or when it triggers and you're, say, a great distance away for observation or anything like that, it would be probably too dark to see. But you know what? We're going to find it out. I'm going to bring a buddy in right now. I'm going to have him sit here and weld, and we're going to put the camera straight through here, and we're going to shoot it as is and see exactly what that looks like. Let's try that out. Okay, so one suggestion was looking as a viewer or near the area. I'm currently about 10 feet away from Ivan, who is going to start welding here in just a moment. We're looking through the glasses, and we're going to find out if they actually work or not. Go ahead, Ivan.
Here we go.
Well, they turn on, but you can't actually see where we're going. Let's get in closer here. This is roughly 2 feet away. But if we look down at the ground, I'm staring at the ground right now. I wouldn't call these good for observation because you can't see where you're going if you're walking through a shop at all. All right, Ivan, that will do.
That'll do, pig.
Thank you.
That'll do.
Now, the other use that was suggested is for oxy-fuel or oxyacetylene or oxy-welding, oxy-cutting, oxy-bending, using basically the fire, the heat, the flame to heat up a bunch of stuff and basically use it when using oxyacetylene. That was basically it. The other one, plasma cutting. So let's knock both of those out in one fell swoop here.
Now this is where things got just a little bit weird. As soon as I lit the acetylene flame only, the glasses activated, and I was a little shocked. I was not expecting that, and this is the actual first time shot of me using them. But as soon as I added the oxygen and got a blue flame, the glasses shut off. We went back into standard vision through them. And every time I flipped back to the acetylene, from oxyacetylene to just only acetylene, it would just turn off and on. It would almost be backwards than what you would expect it. So then I tried to fire it at the actual rod itself, and let's burn some of it up here, and I was getting nothing. So it wouldn't actually protect anything as far as darkening the vision or anything like that. But I realized after I pretty much gave up and we went back and reshot it again to see if we can get anything, we noticed that the closer we got to it, to a very unsafe distance of about a foot away, that's when it actually activated. And you really don't want to be only a foot away when that actually happens. That's actually really, really bad. So we'll jump on the plasma cutter here, and I grabbed a hold of my Thermal Dynamics Cutmaster 60i, and I jacked it all the way up to 60 amps, and I decided to cut aluminum with it because that's usually pretty bright stuff. Now this, you're seeing me wear my welding helmet while I'm actually recording with my cell phone through the glasses, and the result that we actually have on here is actually pretty good. Now I run my welding hood on a low setting when I'm using it for plasma, and since the number 11s are on there on the actual glasses themselves, it made for some interesting footage. You could kind of see through it, but at the same time it wasn't that fantastic. It wasn't that spectacular. Of course, it's not going to protect your face from any splatter. Maybe for watching a plasma table or something like that, but it's so hard to say if these things would actually protect you at all, so I wouldn't actually say it's a good idea to use them, even though they did activate and you could barely see, but I would suggest an alternative.
Now, the other thing on the list, micro welding. I have no experience with micro welding, so I can only speculate, and I'm not going to give it a yay or a nay on this one. Maybe you guys will differ, but I don't have any experience micro welding. That's usually where you're using extremely low amperage, and the vision through it, the eyesight is extremely low anyway. So I don't have any experience doing that, so I can't really put any of that to the test legitimately, but I would suggest that if you are welding with that extremely low amperage, or anything like that, you might still, if your face is really up close, you still might want to protect your eyes from that. I know that in that industry, I'm told that there's some things that differ on that one. I can only speculate. But I'd probably still want something protecting the rest of my face from any type of burn. And on top of that, a number 11 shade, even though these don't look like number 11 through them, a number 11 shade is probably too dark for micro welding. I can only speculate. So no experience on that one, sorry, but we'll just have to maybe give that a pass or leave that up to you guys and your opinions. I probably still want something covering my face. All right, so the next item on the list I thought was kind of a joke, but at the same time it may actually work. It's for using these for the next solar eclipse or for staring at the sun or bright lights. So let's take a walk here. Let me set my camera up.
Let's see. Where's the sun? Oh, there it is. We are no darky darky. Let's see here. Yeah, not darkening. Let me, you know what? Let me grab the welding helmet. We'll put a comparison here. All right, so here is the welding hood. There's the truck, not activated. Get up to the sun. Well, maybe it is activated. Hold on a minute. Yeah, actually it is activated. Let me turn it off real quick. There we go. Not activated. Looking at the sun. Activated. Not activated. Activated. Now, after discovering that the sun doesn't do anything, I decided to run back in the studio and run a couple more tests, like with the studio lights. Now, I noticed that my welding helmet always gets triggered by the studio lights, and with the exact same number 11 shade on it, we can demonstrate that the actual glasses themselves don't do anything with the studio lights. But when you put up the helmet to them, you can see that it definitely triggers with the studio lights. But that's where we found some more really interesting things, aside from the fact that the sun doesn't trigger, the studio lights don't trigger it, but something else does, which was awkward. That's my cell phone. For some reason, when you put the phone up to it, it'll actually darken. It'll just somehow it gets tripped. I don't know exactly why or exactly how, but that's very, very unusual. So things like acetylene only flame would trigger it. My cell phone would trigger it. You know, things just didn't seem to really add up. They didn't really work when they were supposed to work, unless you were, you know, super close or at an incorrect distance or something was just awkward. But if we review some of the other footage that we got out of this one here, if we go and look back at the cutting that we did or the welding that we did behind the glasses when they were actually working, we notice that there's one major fatal flaw here, and that is the gap that goes in between your face and the frames of the glasses. Light will get inside of there. It will pass through there, it will reflect, it will refract, and it will fire right back into your eyes after reflecting off the inside of the lenses. This means that you're going to be subject to flash burn.
Flash burn is some serious stuff. You got to be really careful about it. But that is a major flaw with these, is the light will get in all of these areas, reflect off of it, and shoot into your eyes still. And there's no way you can prevent flash burn unless you find a way to like tape these to your face and like create like an airtight seal or something around there that'll actually do that. That's one thing you really got to be careful with, and something I would definitely suggest. That's not a good idea to use these for any type of welding. But then again, you may have a different opinion. Geez, that's hard to say. But there is one last thing that people recommended that these would be great for, and that is tacking. So let's try that out. I mean, they get darker. So what was it, in 2015 TFS was officially launched. 2016 we moved into a shop. 2017 we got better camera gear, studio, all the rest of that good stuff. And now officially in 2018 we finally get a makeup artist. Yeah. Did you really think I was gonna wear these things? Come on. Anyway. See you on the next episode.